So 2 days ago, the Rams had their first preseason game against the Chargers, and there were some players who played very good games, and there's some players who didn't play as good of games. That's why we're going to go over the studs and duds of the Rams' first preseason game in this video. Let's get into it. Before I get into it, I do want to say, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. I'll be making videos on this preseason game and how the Rams are looking throughout the rest of this week and throughout the rest of the season. So if you guys are interested, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. But yeah, here we are on the Rams wire, and we can see the studs and duds from the Rams preseason opener versus the Chargers. So this is going to be going over who did well, who didn't, and why. So make sure you guys watch until the end of this video to get everything Rams content. So for many of the players on the field on Rams Saturday night, or for the Rams Saturday night, it was their first time suiting up an NFL game. Even a preseason contest, there's a lot this young team has to learn before the regular season begins, which is why these 3 preseason games will be so valuable. And something the Rams, do is that they don't exactly, play their starters or even people that might be starters. They sat a lot of people that we probably didn't even think that they would sit, especially on the offensive line. But the Chargers did cruise to a 34-17 win. But there were some good things to take away for the game for the Rams. A handful of players stood out in a positive way, and we'll go over that in a second. But there was a lot of room for improvement with a few different people. So the first stud that we're going to have is going to be Stetson Bennett. Now, he did start out very shaky. Bennett did throw a couple of almost picks that definitely probably should have been picked off, but people were kind of probably surprised that he threw such a bad pass. But he did end the first drive with a touchdown. Now, they say Bennett was one of the biggest bright spots in this one, seemingly pushing further ahead in the quarterback depth chart, outplaying Brett Rypien. He threw for 191 yards and a touchdown in 3 quarters of play, looking surprisingly comfortable in the pocket in his preseason debut. He got away with a few mistakes that could have led to turnovers, like I said, but it was overall a good performance. I'm going to go over a full-length video on Stetson Bennett's performance, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But he played very well. Another stud here, Travius Hodges Tomlinson, or Trey Tomlinson. He is LaDainian Tomlinson's nephew, I believe. And he's been playing very well throughout camp. And Sean McVay has been talking about how competitive and aggressive Hodges Tomlinson is as a defender. He made a couple of good tackles in the first half and had a broken up pass on 3rd down to stall the Chargers' first drive. I was very excited to see that. He played that route very well. He provided tight coverage against Quentin Johnson on a deep shot down the right side too, forcing an incompletion. So he played very well. Definitely see him as a depth player for the Rams going forward, so glad to see that. Dud, we have Logan Bruss. He didn't play very well. He gave up an early sack and got easily beat to the inside. He also allowed a quick pressure on Rypien that resulted in a bad throw. I like Bruss a lot. He just, out of college, he just hasn't been playing very good recently, and I think he'd be better served at guard, but he's playing at tackle behind Havenstein now. So another stud, Jordan Jones at cornerback. This is not a name we've heard too much throughout training camp compared to other secondary people. But you never want your cornerbacks to rack up tackles because that can sometimes mean they're getting beaten coverage. But Jones was just always around the ball. He made a team high 5 tackles and was often near the receiver quickly and after he made the catch to come up with the stop. He made an impact early when he came up with a good tackle on a screen pass during the Chargers' first drive as well. Another dud, we have special teams. I don't even want to talk about how bad special teams was, but they had a delay of game penalty, a badly missed 46-yard field goal by Tanner Brown, and a 80-yard punt return that was returned in the first half. Definitely did not help out the Rams situation. Brown did bounce back with a 39-yard field goal, and Ethan Evans is showing his powerful legs, so I'm glad we have Ethan Evans, and it was really just bad execution on the punt return. But there's a new coordinator there and a rookie operation. It's going to be ugly early. Hopefully it gets better late. Another stud, we have Puka Nacua. Nacua came into this game with a lot of hype, and so far he's living up to it. He got yanked at halftime. However, he had an 11-yard reception for a touchdown from Stetson Bennett, and it was a contested grab along the goal line, very Cooper Kupp-esque. And he held on and broke the plane for 6 points, and it was his third reception of the game. It's looking like Nacua could be a legitimate contributor to the Rams this season. I fully agree. Another dud, the entire defensive line. The defensive line did not play well. Without Aaron Donald, the Rams are seriously lacking talent up front, and it showed against the Chargers. The running lanes were far too big, and the Chargers rushed for 214 yards and consistently gashed the Rams on the ground. In terms of setting the edge, we didn't do too well with our edge defenders. However, Keir Thomas as a pass rusher did very well, and Daniel Hardy did have a very nice play. So there was some good, flashes here and there, but if we want to be great, we're going to need a lot better play from Kobe Turner, Marquise Copeland, Bobby Brown III. They need to step it up, especially in this next preseason game, so we don't start to panic. Another stud, we have Keir Thomas. Keir Thomas was he played amazing. The pass rush was struggling really bad. We couldn't get to the quarterback, but Thomas provided some help in the third quarter. He had 1.5 sacks in the third quarter alone, making 2 good plays in the backfield to set the Chargers offense back. He also had a solo sack first, then combined with Daniel Hardy with that very nice play for another, showing good bursts off the edge to get to the quarterback. So good on Keir Thomas. Zach Thomas played very well. He was a pretty good bright spot on the Rams offensive line. He played a good portion of the game at left guard and performed at a high level, looking like he's probably going to be the backup to Steve Avila. Andrew Whitworth noted him a lot. Steve Avila has a grip on the starting job, but it seems like Thomas is fighting to make that 53-man roster. Very good first game to do that. Another stud here, we have Tyler Johnson. He had a good connection with Stetson Bennett in the first half, catching 5 passes for 70 yards. He looked fast with the ball in his hands too. We already knew that Tyler Johnson was very fast. He's doing well to kind of lock up one of those last spots at wide receiver. Personally, I think it's Cooper Kupp, Demarcus Robinson, Puka Nacua, Tutu Atwell, Van Jefferson, Tyler Johnson, and possibly Demarcus Robinson. So that would be a 7, I believe, wide receivers right there. So if that happens, Tyler Johnson can definitely be in there. Maybe that was 6, and I said Demarcus Robinson twice. Either way, those are the ones that first come to mind, and it seems like he's playing very well. But yeah, he also picked up that slant from Bennett for 34 yards, and he showed the speed right there. So yeah, those are going to be the top player, studs and duds from the Rams' first preseason opener. Did we miss any? Did the Rams Wire miss any? Did I miss any? I think Stetson Bennett, Puka Nacua were the real standouts. And then we had a few bright spots with Keir Thomas, Trey Tomlinson, and Zach Thomas on the offensive line. But other than that, that's pretty much all I have for this video. Leave me video suggestions in the comment section below, and I'll definitely take those into consideration. But other than that, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. I'm Zach from ZF Productions, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.